Hi everyone, it's Kino here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Living the Yogi's Life, where I share with you all of the tools that help me translate the lessons learned on my yoga mat into everyday life. Today's episode is going to be all about communication, learning how to tune into your inner body and allow that to translate into the real understanding of your own emotions through time and space. So what that essentially means in sort of plain English is that I'm not too good at figuring out what it is that I actually feel. And it's only through the vehicle of the physical body that I've begun to understand what it is my emotions really are. So it's through the yoga practice that by feeling the body through the asana itself, you understand kind of who you are and what you feel. Now here's an interesting scenario that happened to me recently. By tuning into my body after quite a strong interaction with a friend of mine, I got this sensation that I really wasn't happy with the way that things were going, and I decided that I would actually share my unhappiness. So I did my best to communicate. It didn't really go so well. Have you ever had anything like that when you try to communicate that your feelings are hurt to someone and then their response isn't the I'm sorry that you're looking for, but their response is kind of more anger or more irritation, or they're really annoyed with you? Well, something like that really basically happened to me, and it really caused me to reflect. First of all, I began to understand that communication is not necessarily about getting a reaction from anyone else. It's just about sharing what it is that you share and sharing your own feelings as much as you can. It's a little bit like tuning into your own body when you're doing your practice. So you tune in and you experience. You don't necessarily need to force that experience on anyone else. It's just your own experience. It's your own subjective truth. The emotionality of your own body, the emotionality of your own presence is always subjective. There's no real emotional truth. There's no emotional right or wrong. There's just your experience. So when you share something or when you experience something and it's not necessarily giving you the result that you want, doesn't necessarily mean that you should push more. And this is something that really happens within the yoga practice. If you tune into your physical body and you don't get the result that you want, if you push more and try to force that result to happen, you're going to create injury. Think about that in your own relationships. The next time you share that your feelings are hurt with someone and they don't respond with the result that you want, don't push them and try to force them into giving you the result that you want. Instead, just realize you shared your truth. That's the result that happened. It's with complete non-attachment. Now, on the other level, here's the other end of this. Sometimes if you repeatedly share your truth about something and you're looking for a particular response from someone and they don't give it to you, you can start to generate resentment or anger. So what do you do according to the yoga lifestyle, according to yoga ethics, when you yourself feel anger? This is a really sticky, really difficult place to sort of navigate, because we have this principle called ahimsa, which is nonviolence in the yoga path. So if you are experiencing anger yourself, then you're not in a state of nonviolence. You're not in a peaceful state, which means essentially that you're not clear. So if in the moment that you are actually angry at the other person, you attempt to share your anger, you're going to be speaking from a very passionate place, a very emotional place, a place of your own negative samskaras, your own negative behavioral patterns. This is sort of what that's called in Sanskrit. When you accumulate these behavioral patterns from the past and then they sort of surface. As long as you speak from anger, you'll be generating more anger. So here's the really hard work. Move your thoughts literally one vibration at a time. So if you feel anger towards someone, don't act when you feel angry. Take a moment. See if you can move from anger just to discomfort, from discomfort just to mild annoyance. From mild annoyance, actually change the vibration of your thought to being okay, just accepting them for how they are. From the place of acceptance, see if you can move thought by thought, vibration by vibration, all the way to forgiveness. And you can forgive them. After you forgive them yourself, then you can actually move to the place where you begin to truly appreciate them and maybe even move all the way towards love. It's my belief that everyone is a really good person inside and that we all have true goodness inside of ourselves and that we don't ever mean to hurt anyone else, that it happens as a byproduct when we're not necessarily aware of it, or it happens from our samskaras when we're not actually controlling our own behavioral patterns and we're not actually doing the work to move our vibration back to that state of love, which is our natural state. So the real strength in yoga comes when you recognize that you're out of alignment, that you're out of your own peace, you're out of your own integrity, you could say, and then you consciously have the strength within your own mind to move step by step, and you don't take any action until you're way out of your own anger, back into a state of peace, back into a state of love. And only when you find that connection, then you begin to share, then you begin to move in the world once more, and you begin to embody the yoga lifestyle and the yoga ethics. This is the way that I try to live. I don't always succeed, and it's really clunky. I still get into arguments with my partners, with friends, and with people in the world, but I do my best to reflect on each one of those interactions and see how could I have embodied these ethics and these principles more, so that the next time I come into that similar circumstance, circumstance, I am able to live a more peaceful life. That's why I do my practice every day, because this practice helps me to live a more peaceful life, to communicate better what I'm feeling in the moment, and to do it from a place of love rather than from a place of hurt, to do and see things from a place of peace. What I like to think about is that if you desire love, you have to give love. And rather than trying to force other people to love you, you have to love yourself first. You have to love yourself so much so that that love is brimming out from you, so that it shines outward from you. And you have to understand that you are worthy exactly as you are, and that that sense of worthiness comes from understanding yourself as a complete and a whole being. If you communicate from that place of completion, that place of perfection, then it really doesn't matter what the result of your sharing is, because you'll be so rooted in your authentic self that nothing will ever shake you. I hope you're inspired to do this inner work and to live the yoga life. Namaste.